Namaste, Vanakkam, Swagatam. What a great opportunity to welcome all of you to the upcoming Pranayama Teachers Training Program in the Gitananda tradition. Yogacharini Deepika of the Yoga Satsanga Ashram UK and myself, Yogacharya Dr. Anandabalayogi Bhavanani, the lineage holder of the Gitananda tradition, will be offering this program. In this 2-year program, we'll have extensive online sessions every month, which will last a full day each time. We'll have practice sessions every Sunday and in-person training, both at Pondicherry and in our ashram in Wales. Looking forward to seeing all of you in this great study, a study that has the greatest depth of pranayama. More than 120 techniques are discussed and practiced in this course. Be there with us. Join us. Let us all learn together, grow together, because sharing is caring.
It's a Pranayama course, up to 500 hours of training in the Rishikultra Ashtanga Yoga tradition, otherwise known as Gitananda Yoga. So the points I'll be covering in this presentation: the course components, what the course is about, what the structure will be, any expectations, prerequisites, who the teachers are, the cost, and where to find the course, and our accreditations. So the components are that we'll meet one Sunday a month between 5 and 6 hours. It's usually the first Sunday of every month. Each Sunday in between we'll be meeting for sadhana for approximately 1 hour, and that will be available on a catch-up recording if you can't make it there live. But it's quite important if you can be there for the longer session. But if you're on a different time zone, that's understandable. There's also 2 residentials in-person trainings to get the full, if you want the full 500 hours Gitananda Pranayama teacher qualification. So they're available in India is the first choice, and if you can't get to India, you can come to the ashram here in Wales, or Portugal could also be an option. You can take the course in parts, so the year online, or you can also do just 2 years online if residentials aren't an option for you. Or you can take the residentials as well as single components. But as I said before, you'll need to do all parts for the full 500 hours. So the course is based on the 120 pranayamas that Swami Gitananda Giri listed in his book, Pranayama, the 4th limb of the Ashtanga Yoga. So these 12 categories that he lists, we have our disciplines. So this is really about increasing our lung capacity, this section of pranayamas. Some of them have a number of pranayamas in them, and some of the sections are just like 2 or 3 pranayamas. Then our corrective pranayamas, these are to kind of reset the rib cage muscles, the nerves. Then we have our prana sauchas, these are the bastrikas mostly. Then we have our cooling breaths, heating breaths, sound breaths. These can be movements as well as seated pranayamas using sound. The prana kriyas, this is to do with some abdominal work, this section. The purifiers, these are about cleansing our nadi system and the panchabhuta, the 5 elements in our body. And we have some healing breaths, rejuvenators, which rejuvenate the organs in our body. The samyana pranayamas, this is our introspectional breaths, so they become quite meditative practices. And then our shakti pranayamas, which are very powerful pranayamas. They're quite strong and intense practices. So that's just a brief kind of summary of these pranayamas. So the class structure, so we meet online. I've got here the UK times, but you translate according to where you are. So we usually meet 10 to 2. It may change depending on the time of year, an hour because of daylight saving. So the first section will be some explanation on the practice. There'll be some Hatha Yoga because in order to open up our lungs we do need to use some of the Hatha Yoga, but they're very specific practices. Then we have the Pranayama that we're working on. We also have Shavasana practices, so we call these the Jnana Yoga Kriyas. We'll be working on them. They come kind of side by side along with the Pranayamas. And then we'll be using some breakout rooms so you can discuss the practices with each other. And then later on there'll be a question, answers and theory section with Dr. Ananda after the break. The residential timetable, just briefly, is usually we start at 6 with the chanting, Hatha Yoga, Karma Yoga, Pranayama class, lunch, then there'll be a theory in the afternoon, evening bhajans and satsanga, which is the philosophy. And then this is based on the India ashram. There'll be variations of visits to the temple, but you know, we can talk about that more if you're interested. The expectations if you join the course, it is a sadhana-based course. I'm quite passionate about that, so I don't really like to load students with too much coursework, as I know some courses is quite grueling amounts of coursework. So really, if you have time to invest, it's in the practice. So we do want you to give us your lung capacity measurements every 3 months approximately, and I'll talk about how to do that when you join the course. And then there's an essay at the end of each year, basically, so one kind of long essay at the end of each year. And then your teaching will be observed at the end of the first year residential, if you're coming to the residential, and then at the latter part of the second year you'll also have some observed teaching. Prerequisites. I've thought long and hard about this, and it is a course that is suitable for anyone to do from the start, because we spend such a lot of time on the foundations of pranayama. It is safe for anyone to do the course. That said, probably the very fact that it's called pranayama is going to mean that you're going to have some basic knowledge of yoga, because we're not calling this a breathwork course for a start, which I don't want to give the wrong impression, because it's not breathwork. Pranayama is a lot more than that. Most of the current students are already yoga teachers, but not everyone. Most have a long yoga practice time in their life. But as I said, I do think anyone could actually do this course from the beginning. So if you have a sincere wish to join and you want to really develop your pranayama practice, then you're very welcome to join the course. So yes, you'll also get some extra reading that you can do before you join the course. So this is about the teacher. So Dr. Ananda, if you haven't heard of him, is an incredible man, yogi. He's a medical doctor. As you can see there, he has lots of letters after his name. He's a medical doctor, and his father was Swami Gitananda, who was a very famous yogi in India. And he's fused very much, as his father was also a doctor, this kind of Western approach and the ancient wisdom of yoga. So he is an incredible man to listen to and to learn from. Me, just a few things. So I'm the lead pranayama teacher for the tradition at the moment, under the guidance of Dr. Ananda. One of the few worldwide teachers with a 3,000 hours advanced training given by Amaji. I have lived with serious asthma, so I do know how the course can really heal has tremendous healing abilities, the pranayama techniques of the tradition. I've established 2 ashrams along with Yoga Charya and Yandev here in Wales and one in Portugal. I have 3 sons, and I like to play the sitar and sing bhajans, if anyone wants to join me in that. So our root guru, Dr. Swami Geetananda Giri, known as the father of scientific yoga, as I said, he was very well known in India. And he was also called the master of pranayama throughout India. So he really was a true master of pranayama. The length and breadth and depth of the teachings in pranayama are just stunning. So I think you'd be very hard pressed to find such a level of teachings anywhere else. So we're very grateful to Swamiji. And his wife, Amaji, who was my teacher, incredible woman, such love, compassion, and a great teacher, and very devoted to the teachings of yoga and everything that has been taught. So if you want to join the course, you just need to get onto the website. There's the address. And once you pay the deposit, you can get access, and you'll get some reading material, and then each month the material will be uploaded onto the course, onto the website, and there will be a group forum so you can speak with other members on the course. And yes, we are accredited by the Yoga Alliance professionals, so you'll get a certificate, and the Indian Yoga Association, so you can get insurance, or you can be registered with the Yoga Alliance if you need it, or have the registration with the Indian Yoga Association. And here's some little snapshots of our group at the moment, who are wonderful. This is when they came to India for some training. These are just some snapshots of some of the images from the course. Dr. Ananda on his Zoom with us all, doing our Hatha Yoga in India. And this is a little snapshot of the group that came to Wales with my son. Yes, so now I'd like to invite some of the current members of the group to share some of their experience, feedback, or anything perhaps I've forgotten.
What can I say? I can say that this course was a sort of life transformer, and I would say that you can start with the first module and just discover and just try on yourself the effect of this wonderful practice. Is something that you can and you should try. There is nothing similar in the world, as the quality of the teaching is a rare opportunity. This is a real living tradition, as living parampara, and the quality of the teaching and the spirit and the generosity in sharing such a pearl of wisdom is something that I would strongly recommend.
From Ireland, Kate Culture, and so that's one of the beauties of this. I would not have had the opportunity to study pranayama with Deepening school if it wasn't for this online course, which has been blessed with the living tradition of actually going to the ashram. I spent in Wales ashram, and I'm truly excited about going to the Indian one at the beginning of next year. I could talk all day about this. I'm not going to do that. I can only agree with all that Antonio is. This Pranayama course has grown my lungs. I've grown physically. Although I still put on my clothes, so don't be worried about that. It has grown my community, the yoga community, the Geetananda community, and I'm so honoured to be a part of all of that, and these inspirational divine souls that I connect with every week. And finally, probably not finally, but I'll leave it here, is it's grown my yoga wisdom, which is infiltrated into every part of my life, very positive.
Namaste, and thank you, Deepika ji. It's such an honor to be here, and I echo everything that's been said. I really do think the community of people with whom you get to engage through this course, not only the extraordinary par excellence teachers who really live the teachings, and that's rare, I think, as well as the parampara, the unbroken lineage of the study of the wisdom and the practices. And I will say, the time in the ashram, I shifted after visiting the ashram, even though I spend several hours a week in practice with either in this forum via Zoom or on my own, but being together and building that community and seeing Deepika in this case embody the practices in a beautiful way. So the course really does combine the best of both worlds, the ease and access of extraordinary teachers unlike any others in the world, and the in-person opportunities for your growth and learning, as well as connecting with others. It's just so incredibly valuable. So do it.
Namaste all. This is truly an unforgettable experience. The thorough, authentic, and well-rounded theory and the practical aspects of teaching provided a very strong foundation, and the wonderful tight-knit community that we have here is really what makes the experience what it is. It's highly recommended. Thank you so much.
Namaste, everyone. There's a lot of growing interest in what is generally called breathwork, or sometimes pranayama, where people are supposed to learn to control the breath. But this course is much more a real course on pranayama, in the sense that through the course one is learning to increase one's awareness of the importance of prana. So the breathing is a tool for increasing this awareness of the prana, but of course also the value of getting more oxygen into your lungs and in every cell of your body. And that is also, of course, increasing the prana in your body. So when I signed up for the course, I did not know what I would be getting. So I remember I was even asking Dr. Ananda, our incredible guru, very wise man, if it was worthwhile for me to be part of the course, and he said yes. But I have realized that I have had so much more to learn about pranayama, and thank you to Deepika for being such an inspiration, because as a student you can feel when people really incorporate what they teach. And with you, Deepika, and with Dr. Ananda, this knowledge is really integrated. It's something that you both live and are so willing to share. And I'm a person who, if I don't understand, I will ask questions, whether they are silly or not. And I've always felt and appreciated that any question, whether silly or not, will be appreciated and explained in the best way possible. And I also want to say that I agree with what others have said. And I have also felt, both online and when we went to India, I have not been to the other ashrams yet in Wales or Portugal, that it's really a nice community. It's people who are truth seekers. Some are quite experienced yogis, others are beginners, but with such a sincerity and also such a warmness and willingness to be part of a group and be kind, and you really feel connected, whether online or being together. So this course is really worth taking, and it might change your life if you're ready for that. Thank you.
Hello, namaste everybody. Oh, what can I say that hasn't already been said? I think I came to this course as a relatively junior yoga teacher already, but not having any knowledge really of this tradition. So I came to it very green, I think, but always had an interest in pranayama and felt I had only really scratched the surface in my previous teacher training. So I was kind of intrigued that there was a very long course available, another teacher training course effectively, that went into quite a lot of depth. And at that time I was seeking an authentic practice taught in an authentic tradition, and also, you know, in something that I absolutely loved, which was pranayama. So I think I definitely found that here in this course. I feel that you're learning yoga in a holistic sense, not just pranayama, in its appropriate cultural context, and that's being delivered by authentic teachers. And that is really something that I don't feel I've experienced before in any of my trainings or CPDs, so it's something really precious and special, this course, which would make me recommend it firstly. But I've had a really enriching experience on many levels through doing this course, not only exploring the pranayamas in a deep way through that experience, through the satsang and through sadhana, which you need to have the discipline. If you really want to learn it, the discipline needs to be there. You need to be trying to practice every day. But also in the fact that you really get to understand the ancient science of pranayama through the lens of modern science and healthcare management. And that can only be from our esteemed dear Dr. Ananda, because his wealth of experience, wisdom, knowledge is just incredible. Partly inherited, I think, but mainly learned, but, you know, being able to impart that knowledge to us all in a very understandable way, I think is, again, something that's really quite special about this tradition. And the other thing that everybody else has really said, impressed upon, is that connection and connecting with a really supportive international community of like-minded humane beings that I love with all my heart, every single one of them. So yeah, it's just an amazing course. And again, I would echo everybody's comments in saying that don't hesitate to sign up if you are seeking a deep, meaningful experience and potentially transformational. It has been hugely transformational for me too. Then please don't hesitate. Thank you very much.
Namaste, everyone. For me, this course was extremely life-changing. Was a deep dive on a yoga tradition. First contact like this, I felt like more green. Coming into that more traditional yoga, but it's just life-changing, opened up my perspective so much about what yoga is, and I love pranayama, and getting deeper in that with the scientific lens that Dr. Nanda brings, it's very, very empowering. Watching Deepika ji teaching, it's very inspirational. I felt so inspired and empowered by Deepika, and just having her as my mentor, I'm very, very grateful for all this experience.
Yes, please. Namaste, everyone. So first I want to express my gratefulness for Dr. Ananda and for Deepika for allowing this course to exist, to creating it in such a format that even from Romania I was able to attend. So I really appreciate the depth of the teachings, especially Dr. Ananda, the way he gives us all the details and all the cultural context in which these practices were created, and for Deepika for facilitating the weekly practices. And what I would like to emphasize and what I appreciate the most is the practice, because this course is very oriented on embodying the teachings and not just on accumulating knowledge. So because you have plenty of time, like 1 month for each a couple of new practice that you are introduced, you have 1 month to deeply practice daily by yourself and together with these wonderful people that we are together here. So it's really it's like Ingun and others said, it's a life-changing experience, but in order to be like this, you need to be committed and do your practice and really receive these beautiful teachings into your body and into your mind. Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about this fantastic course. You never stop learning with yoga. And so I'm always trying to do the practice and find practices that I've not come across before. So when I came across this, I thought this would be really good for me, not just to deepen my current practice, but also I have asthma, and that sort of influenced my doing this course. So although I'd done yoga for many, many years, I was embarrassed when we did the measurements of our lungs to find out actually my lung capacity wasn't all that great. But really pleased that through the course that has changed, and my health is so much better. So that's only one aspect. The other aspect is that Gitananda will give you enough for several lifetimes of sadhana. It's just a huge amount of knowledge in that tradition. And I do like that it's a living tradition. If you're going to really put time and energy and effort into your sadhana, then do make sure it's a living tradition like this one. And I really appreciate the quality of teaching. I think the quality of teaching is superb. And I really love that Dr. Ananda includes the scientific side that appeals to my science brain. So I've enjoyed all aspects of the course, the sadhana, the encouragement to keep up the practice. And that means that the commitment of Deepika to be there every week for us is astonishing. So I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't come in for a qualification. I came for my own personal satisfaction and practice, and that's what the course has done. But it's also given me yoga friends for life from all over the world. I mean, that's absolutely wonderful. So yeah, please do the course. You will benefit in many, many ways. So thank you.
I think I am very lucky to have discovered the Gitananda living tradition and the unique teachings that I've learned through this Pranayama course, are very, very unique, and breathing into each part of the lungs. And I never knew, or used to breathe into the back of my lungs. So that kind of detail, and they feel like, even whether you breathe properly into the back of the lungs when you are in the ashram, and all the fine explanations, the scientific explanations that's been given by Dr. Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani, and the backing and the teachings that we learn with Deepika ji is so great. And I want to be that proud representative of the Gitananda, the Rishi culture living tradition one day after I finish my 2-year course with them. Thank you so much.